Alright, here's what I got going on with this thing. We got old boy over here loose. That was easy. Just put the 21mm socket over the nut, and then I impacted the 10 in the tightened position until it came loose. And then ratcheting wrenched with my 10 the rest of the way off while the 21 was wedged up in the shock tower. And then I got that out. Now, this side is proving to be kind of a pain in the ass. So I have this real unorthodox way of doing this. Now, I don't have a cutter, so if I strip this, I'm fucked. So what I did was, I have got two 9/32. I tried to get three, but I really can't fit the third one on there. On that itty-bitty thing poking out. Because 9/32 is the English equivalent to 7. And honestly, the 6 won't fit. The 7 seems kind of loose. So we went with 9/32 because I got two of those wrenches. So I got two of those fuckers on there. With this part braced up against the dust shield. Now I got my 16mm box end on that nut. So the idea is I WD-40 the shit out of it, the threads, and we're going to loosen this nut, and hopefully this will stay in position, and with two of those we won't have any stripping, because if it strips we're going to have to buy a Dremel and cut through this ball joint, and it's going to be a bitch, and I don't want to do that. So that is my advice on this. If you do not want to cause problems, get you two 9/32, lube the shit out of them threads, and then put those guys on, and then slowly turn this until they get up against there. And I'm going to hold that with my right hand, make sure they don't loosen at all, and then we're going to try to loosen, because you know this is going to be wanting to tighten while that's loosening. Once it gets wedged, that should stay still, the ball joint should, the nut should come off. That's going to be the easiest way to get this off without fucking it up. I will report back whether I failed or succeeded. Okay, so as you can see, we made some progress, and the two 9/32 weren't cutting it. It just kept spinning. So we used the 16mm, the torch, and the vice grips, wherever the hell those fell to, right there. So we vice gripped tip of the ball joint, spun it with our 16 till the vice grips were resting up against the dust shield here. And then after burning the shit out of it with the torch, which this will kind of catch on fire, so watch out for all that cancer. And then now we got her loosened, so now I should be able to more easily hold this now and then get this loose the rest of the way with a little more WD-40. So we did not fuck it up completely and round it. As you can see, it's a little shiny, so we were getting there. So vice grips, torch, WD-40 for the win. Now I can get this thing out and get the rest of this crap out, pull this strut out, and I think I should be able to get the rest of it back together today. Me thinks, anyway. Alright, it's the following day, and I'm going to apologize in advance for this audio quality because we got like 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and this has been brutal. So yesterday I got stuck because when I got the shock off the back, the bottom part, this shaft with this bushing around it that normally sits at the bottom of the shock, well, it sits in this wheel carrier about yay far, half an inch. As you can see, it's kind of rusty. So it was like welded into here. I tried to use a pickle fork to bash it off. Didn't work. Hammer didn't work. Nothing worked. So what happened was I ended up ripping the bushing out of it using the pickle fork. And I thought I was like super fucked. So it's on the back side of it, you can get like a 19mm around here to like kind of wiggle it. That wasn't happening. So after using a lot of lubricant sprayed down in there, in the bolt hole where the bolt was, down around the mating surfaces, managed to use this hammer and the 19 and bash it a few times just to kind of get it to move a scotch. And then I got two torches, one on each side, here and here, and just boom, maximum heat, as hot as it would go. And sat it on there for several minutes. Once it was like red hot, I turn the hoses off, or the torches off. I put the 19 back on, hit it with the hammer. It was moving much more easily. I could then move it by hand with the 19 mil. So I sprayed a shit more lubricant down in there. So just kept spraying and spraying because it was so hot it kept evaporating really quickly. While I was spraying, I just kept moving it, spraying and moving, spraying and moving. I then got my vice grips. I don't know where, oh, there they are, the big ones. And then I put them on this end, so kind of facing like this. Clamped them down on that shaft, and then just kept spraying the lubricant down in there and wiggling it, twisting it left and right while pulling on it, twisting, pulling, boom, finally came out. So what a pain in the ass. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that with the other side. If I do, well, I shouldn't, because I'm going to show you a better technique. I have a 2-jaw puller and that ball joint puller that I used on the front. So when I do the other side, what we're going to do is I'm going to use the 2-jaw puller, and I'm going to try to get it on here. If not, then I'll try the ball joint. But I should be able to get the 2-jaw puller on here, no problem. Get it right there on the shock tower itself, and then I should be able to, once I use the bolt head is something to press the center into, I should be able to pop it out. But so the technique is, before you end up ripping it out and having a problem, you want to get the 19 on there and try to move it yourself, hammer, or whatever you got to do if necessary. A shit ton of lube. And if you can budge it slightly, you might be able to bash it off with your pickle fork or the 2-jaw puller. So we're going to try to do that on that side. And I didn't film me torching this because I wasn't really sure it was going to work, but it did. It worked great. If I'd had the time yesterday before it rained for like 5 minutes and downpoured me and ruined everything. So hopefully this helps. I've seen videos on YouTube of how to get your shock off if your shock's still on the car. But when you rip and tear the bushing out of it and you've got that shaft sitting in there, you're fucked. Well, now what are you going to do? That's what you do. Lube, heat, vice grips, 19mm hammer. And you might be able to get away with using 1 torch, but I used 2. 1 on each side, because the more heat, the merrier. So, alright guys, we can now get this side back together. Thanks for watching. Peace.